So vote out 2020, regardless what happens. We want to vote out this 2020. So pretty much,
we really want to vote this year out.
Yeah, we got to vote this year
even
out.
without the politics. We vote to end 2020, yo, for real.
Yeah, so I mean, like when you think about Biden versus Trump, everyone gets depressed. Even if you're gonna vote for Biden, you still get depressed. So like we have to think about other things happening. And if Phil can drop this next segment, it pretty much shows you the other stakes that are happening that could be good for us in a local level. And unfortunately, I had to find an international
until election day, the
news segment to talk about it.
Not the only key decision American voters will make. Just a handful of tight races around the country will determine if
like she said American
Waters. 53-seat majority in the 100-seat U.S. Senate. A dynamic that will have far-reaching consequences for the country's political agenda over the next 2 years. Take a look.
The Republican convention in Charlotte is now over, but the political battle in North Carolina hasn't stopped.
They found an American to do that voiceover.
But I've always wanted to fight. After 9/11,
I think it's a clip within the other clip.
Cunningham, one of many Democrats across the nation running to unseat sitting Republican senators like his opponent, Thom Tillis.
His parents are way up.
I grew up with strong parents, and
he grew up with his belt right under his titties.
With its mix of rural, urban, and suburban areas, North Carolina is an ideal indicator of the nation's political mood.
Oh, Matt emptied me, but
North
sure.
Carolina is very much a microcosm.
Yeah, that is a political mood.
It's
a feeling of emptiness.
Because our state is very bitterly divided. It's that last sliver of persuadable voters that could flip from one side to the other that really makes North Carolina as competitive as any place else in the country. And this
so North Carolina has a lot of flip-flops in it. Gotcha.
A U.S. Senate race and a governor's race.
I'm Cal Cunningham. I approve this.
Polls show Cunningham leading Tillis by about 5 percentage points. President Trump is playing a key role in this race.
I think the national dynamics plays out here in North Carolina, particularly for the U.S. Senate race, just because Thom Tillis was so closely aligned to President Trump before COVID. But when COVID hit, he kind of started to tack more towards the middle, not really talking about Donald Trump. But I think that die is pretty much cast in terms of the relationship between the two.
The coronavirus is also a key issue in Iowa.
Are we really watching real-life Game of Thrones?
We thought we had seen the worst.
Yeah. Is locked in a debate with Democratic challenger Teresa Greenfield.
And you better believe we're facing a crisis like nothing we've seen before.
Over the severity of the pandemic. A sign the national dynamic will play more of a role in the Senate races this election cycle, analysts say.
Wow, she's on her political game for real. For real. I almost believed her just now.
Trying to distance themselves a little bit, and
I'm doing my part. I never leave my house.
And how much that particular senator, Joni Ernst in this example, is willing to attach herself to
the new generation of politicians coming up. I think I don't know.
For real, you can tell they're younger too.
Yeah.
In Maine, Susan Collins is familiar with national attention after her high-profile vote confirming Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh and acquitting Trump in the impeachment trial earlier this year.
Ooh, she might pay for that.
Very much.
Oh, yeah.
The Postal Service is a lifeline.
She's running behind challenger Sarah Gideon, who raised millions
She got a biblical last name.
Oh, yeah.
Righteous as fuck, yo.
But in Alabama,
we don't vote for her. You
President
just gotta
Trump's
have
support
locusts
for
swarm
Republican
your
Tommy
house.
Tuberville
Yeah, burning bushes talking to you.
has been a huge boost, giving him a double-digit lead over Democrat Doug Jones, who will likely lose his seat.
And it's all going to come down to turnout, and especially in places where Trump surprisingly won in 2016, and those abilities of those senators to use their state dynamics independently from the nationalized Trump election, right? To speak to their specific states, to distance themselves when appropriate, to align themselves when appropriate.
Democrats also hope to win seats in Colorado and Arizona. They will need to pick up 3 seats if Biden wins,
white
4
guys in
seats
open
if
button-up
Trump
shirts.
wins. Catherine Gibson, VOA News, Washington.
Wow, they broke that shit down. Yeah, they broke that down.
So it kind of felt like it kind of felt like you said, Game of Thrones. It went from Colorado, it went from the different states to show you the stakes, to show you
to the wall.
Yeah. So
to
the
King's
wall.
Landing.
So pretty much what's happening is, this next video pretty much shows you why that video was important, because Phil can drop the next video, like, so who's holding up unemployment, which is the people we're gonna be voting for in November. They're holding up unemployment right now. The extra $600.
Yo, who's voting to keep money out my pockets?
Yeah, who's keeping? Yeah, we want to talk about the money. What's happening right now? The $1,200 that you got once this year. So who's supposed to fix this stuff? Who's going to? And it's almost like no one's responsible for it for right now.
Well, didn't Trump fix it already?
ABC 15 investigator
illegally, yeah.
Looks at how we got here and what
you just said that things are just better. So, and that's it, right?
Well, Congress
Biden's
wraps
America
up its
is going to get
month-long
worse.
break with Labor Day well wishes. Arizona's patchwork unemployment system is again on the verge of cutting benefits by hundreds of dollars.
It is likely that the LWA benefit will stop abruptly for individuals.
The original $600 benefit expired at the end of July. Last week, we learned the weekly $300 in FEMA assistance could be days away from running out as well.
We are going to have very little notice when this happens.
But DES Director Michael Weishart also revealed
that none of us have even seen yet is already running out.
We're spending about $50 million per week from the.
I didn't even know that was happening. I didn't even know
that trust fund started at about $1.1 billion. It's now around $400 million.
And no one's seen any of that money.
It's not.
We've got about 8 weeks or so of solvency left in the state trust fund.
While Weishart and Governor Ducey are looking to Congress for more cash, researchers with Grand Canyon Institute say it's the state's responsibility to fund unemployment. And estimates there's still about $400 million in unspent CARES Act money to do it. ABC 15 has repeatedly asked Governor Ducey's office for a detailed accounting of the CARES Act funds and has not received a single response. We know the state has until December 30th
and went to the spam box.
Lose it. We also know that before the break, congressional Republicans proposed a weekly $200 extension and Democrats $600. What we don't know is how long Arizonans will have to suffer before Congress gets its act together.
105 degrees.
They're gonna wait. They're gonna wait until all of them are evicted from their homes.
That's holding about $1 billion in state money. And the state has the option to borrow the money it needs from the federal government. But those are two things Governor Ducey has not appeared to be willing to do so far. But there's something that you can do. Contact your congressional representative, because this
and
is
then they can ignore your email.
To do. I'm Courtney Holmes, ABC 15, Arizona.
Ain't this crazy? This is where we at right now. Please, where's my money? Please, like, you gotta email your congressman. Like, this is what's happening right now. Like,
hey, man, the Congress, the Congress people haven't gotten enough spam to their junk mail box, so they're like, hey, we need y'all to fill up their junk mail.
So this is absurd. So this is what's happening with unemployment. And so the segment before that, it shows you what stakes are at. The people that you need to vote for are holding up this stuff that's important for you right now. Not, building a road or building a bridge or whatever bullshit platitudes you want to say.
Is building a wall between you and the sheriff that is looking to evict you from your house.
Yeah, but the sheriff, the light in the darkness. People want unemployment, we want healthcare for all. People want to figure out how they're going to pay for education when you still have to pay for tuition, even though you have to be on the computer. People want to know these answers, and no one's giving answers. And at least on a local level, with the senator and the congressman, at least you can corner them and be like, hey, what's going on in my town? At least you can kind of do that,
Kinda.
Yeah.
Or you could send them an email that goes directly to their spam box.
Yeah. So please vote out 2020,
and vote in 2021, because this year sucks.